All right, what's going on, everybody? Today we're gonna start diving into the pro package numbers. We're gonna get into one of the most important numbers, low point. Let's get to it. Hey everybody, Scott Oden coming at you. So the response, thanks everybody for all the questions and everything about the pro package. Excited to go on this journey with you with the pro package. So we're learning it as we go with you. So have used a lot of these numbers in the past with other devices, so excited to share with you some of the things that you can do with them and how these numbers are going to help you get better as we go. If you're still looking to get the pro package, if you have questions, please leave a comment down below, and also check out the link in the description. That does help out the channel if you so would like to with purchasing your pro package or Mevo Plus, anything like that, or any of the other links in the description for all the training aids I use to help my game and my students. So check them out. All right, so today we're gonna talk about low point, okay? So one of the first numbers I like to talk with people about is low point, because honestly, it's one of those things that as a beginning golfer, I try to get people to learn how to control. And what is low point? Well, low point is essentially if you've got your golf swing and you're coming back and you're coming down into the ball, it's what the lowest point of that arc of your swing, where is that happening? Okay, so it's going to measure that in inches, and it's going to be basically, all right, are you on the target side of the golf ball or are you on the radar side of the golf ball? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about, it's going to depend on what club you're hitting on where this number should be, but the biggest thing you need to think about is if I'm basically hitting an iron or any shot where I'm hitting off of the ground, you're going to want that low point in your swing to basically be positive, which is on the target side of the golf ball, okay? So you gotta think positive target side. That means you are going towards the target. And the reason for that is you're trying to strike down at the golf ball and make ball first contact, and that means you are going to have that lowest point of your swing be beyond the golf ball, okay? So if you're struggling with this number, if you start hitting a few, how are you going to make changes to your low point? Okay, so I've got a 7-iron here. I'm going to hit a shot or two here, and let's just talk about some of the things that we can do for low point, okay? So I do have my spot marked. I've got like a little piece of fuzz here. Please make sure you get your unit set up. That's going to have an impact on how this number reads. So get that measurement, get it into the unit correctly, and all of that. So here we go. I'm going to hit a 7-iron, and I've been practicing with this number for a little bit. And I've actually noticed something with my game as I've been hitting shots, okay? So here comes my number, and there's my low point at 0.1. So yes, I did hit the golf ball first, but one of the things I've noticed as I've been going through this number is I've actually had a couple negatives in there, and what I've noticed in my own golf game is I'm not hitting the ball as far as I would like. I'm also kind of hitting it a little bit high, all right? So you'll see when I get to the distance here, 145, my smash is down. And that's been happening of late. I haven't been getting the distance I want out of it. So what does that tell me? Well, my low point in my swing has actually been coming in a little bit too far back. So I'm not really getting that compression on the golf ball that I would like to get. So how am I going to work on that to be able to get that low point more forward? Well, there's a couple of things I can do. Now, you're probably gonna have to do these in conjunction with each other, but it's gonna just kind of depend on what we have going on. So the first thing I can do is I could just work on my swing. And in my swing, what I'm gonna do is make some motions and just feel like my arms are really extending beyond the golf ball. That's gonna help move that low point forward a little bit. Okay, so I can try that. Okay, and we'll see what we get with just doing that throughout the swing, okay? So our low point number comes up, you can see 5.9. Now, to me, that's pretty aggressive, okay? And the other thing that'll happen is if you just do that move, I actually see a lot of people run into issues with hitting shanks. So you gotta be careful with that move, where if you just start trying to throw your hands and throw your arms too far towards the target, Okay, so that's one thing you can do, but just use it with caution. Now, the other thing I can do is I could just adjust my ball position. So what I'm gonna do is just move the ball back in my stance, okay? So if I was up here, I'm just gonna go back here. Now this is a little bit extreme, but let's see what we get, okay? So we'll check out that. I didn't try really to extend my arms a whole lot there. I did hit it maybe a little heavy, but you can see I went a little farther onto the front side of the golf ball. Okay, so that's something that's gonna start making, maybe, it kind of depends on who you are, but it's not gonna make a huge difference for some people, but it should start moving that low point forward. Now, for me, what I think is gonna make the difference overall is kind of a combination of those two things. I'm gonna move the ball back just a little bit. I'm gonna feel like I extend a little bit more through the shot. But what I'm also going to do is work on how my body is moving as we go, okay? So what I'm gonna do is bring the club back. I'm going to shift my pressure forward onto my front foot and then let that body open up as I'm going through the hit, okay? So I'm gonna bring it back, forward, open up, and that should help me move that low point forward. For me, I would love to see it get somewhere in the range of 1 inch to 1.5 inches, okay? But you can see we're creeping on that forward side. Let me see if I can move it even more forward as we go, okay? So let's see, let's set up another one. And let's see what we get there, okay? That one I really felt like I extended through a little bit more maybe. So there we go, 1.5 inches. That's better. So that's what's gonna help you with that low point. One of the things you gotta be careful with is people will think like low point and they think like, all right, I'm gonna hit down at the ball. That's not necessarily what we're doing, because I can swing more down at it, but if I'm not moving the low point forward, right, that's not gonna change that number. I could hit more down on the ball, but I'm not moving the low point forward. You'll probably feel some shots be fat, might feel some shots be thin too. That's what you're gonna start seeing. And that's why this is an important number, because it's telling you exactly where that lowest point of your swing is, and you're working on getting it where, all right, I'm going to make much better contact with that golf ball. So for me, with the 7-iron, I like to see it around 1 inch. That's something you can do. You can maybe have it a little more forward with some of the shorter clubs. If you're hitting like a 3-wood, probably gonna see it closer to 0. I know we just saw Jordan Spieth in the last tournament. He hit a 3-wood on the 18th hole where his low point was definitely behind the ball. So it can happen, but it just kind of depends on what you're doing. Now, the driver is gonna flip, okay? So let me grab this driver here. We're gonna switch it up. And let's just talk about some differences with this club as we go. So I'm gonna switch this. Let's get it teed up. Okay, so driver is gonna change a little bit because our goal now is not to necessarily hit down on the ball, right? We're trying to hit maybe more up on it. So what that's gonna mean is the lowest point of the arc is now going to be behind the ball. So if I'm hitting driver, I want to make sure that this low point actually is a negative number. That means the lowest point of my swing is behind, and I will most likely be traveling up into the golf ball. So what are some of the adjustments we can make as we go? Well, we can kind of just start flipping things around from what we did. I can move the ball forward in my stance. I can, instead of feeling like I really open up and extend through, I'm gonna feel like maybe I stay more closed and let my arms really work up throughout the swing. Those types of things are really gonna help. Now, transferring pressure, this one gets a little bit tricky because I don't want you hanging out on your back foot to do this, but instead of shifting and moving your whole body like you might do on an iron, what I'd rather like you to do is pressure, you shift, but it's almost like you're leaning back as you go to hit this shot, okay? So let's give it a try, see what we get with the driver. Let's see what we get on that one. We're tracking 3.1 behind, okay? So that's a good example right there of one that we would be looking for. That lowest point of the swing was behind the golf ball coming up into it. So that would be a good example. Just some things to mess around with as you're going through. Again, what I like about the Pro Package numbers is we are diving deeper into your swing. So instead of saying, hey, based on this number, we can make some other assumptions. Now you actually know, and you can actually say, hey, I'm going to work on this part of my game and get this number better. It's just really giving you a good look at what's going on and how you're gonna make things a little bit better and make some improvements. So I'm excited to work on this number because I thought I had pretty good low point control, but apparently not. And it would actually explain some of the things I've had going on while playing of late that I think are gonna help me be a better ball striker and get some of my distance back. So I'm excited about that. But if you have questions about this number, low point, please leave them in the comments down below. And as always, click that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber already. We got more coming with more of the numbers. So we will be going through them in detail so you understand them. Please let me know if you have questions. And we'll have some short tips on these numbers over on Instagram. So make sure you head over there and follow us to catch on those shorter tips about all these numbers. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.